Listening. Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yep, good deal. All the electronics in here works. The guy here, they do maintenance. Oh, okay. They do maintenance here, and the guy in the hangar is kind of the Stinson guru for the world. That's why you see so many Stinsons scattered around.
I think I've seen that gentleman, or he's been to a couple of the FAA meetings
here.
He's an older gentleman, right?
Right.
Yep.
Well, anybody, I guess, that's known as a Stinson guru is old. You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I left my phone in your car, so.
Oh, okay.
I am unplugged.
Well, you're not. I don't know. I've never gotten a call in this airplane. It would probably work because we don't get all that high. This is our ATIS here, 3019, winds 080 at 7. We do not have a DSB, but we do have a transponder. You have Garmin or?
ForeFlight.
ForeFlight.
Now, which did you have?
I have Garmin Pilot.
Okay. Oh, I think you told me that because you had problems with your ForeFlight.
Yeah, I could never get it going. And it ought to, I put Garmin on my phone and it works pretty well. 52. It warm up a little bit here. The heater does work okay. If should have done this before. Only problem I've got is I can't get the vent to close on my side.
Oh, okay.
So modification.
I'm good. I have 4 layers on. And if I get hot, I will not be able to take one off either.
No, whatever you got is what you got. That's right.
Yeah. Well, this airplane has been extraordinarily well maintained.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, somebody spent some time with this.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know where Mackie bought this thing. Brian went up and picked it up wherever it was. But yeah, it's
So I'm curious, turn and bank, what is this? And you said these were piano keys?
Yeah,
okay.
You push it down, and I think this works all the time. I've never turned it on.
Oh, okay.
And it does have lights, got nav lights, landing lights. The lights are out on the wings and they crank down when you turn them on.
Okay.
Not been up at night. Have gotten back at dusk before, but that's as brave as I've gotten. Hey, are you ready?
I am.
Sugar Valley, Cessna 2603 November, departing runway 20, Sugar Valley.
This is Sugar Valley. Have a nice flight, Jim.
Okay, we'll talk to you later.
That's Sandra.
Yep. I'm taking Kim to ride, Sandra. Show her what a real airplane's like.
Sounds great.
Praxis. Just kind of look out the side and keep lined up until you get the tail up.
Okay. What's the liftoff speed?
Oh, 40 or so probably.
Okay.
It has a, I don't know what tail dragger you flew before, but the tail is really kind of heavy in this compared to like a J3 and things like that.
It was a J3,
Yeah.
and then the other one was the HE6 trainer with Jeff Michael.
Yeah.
A little more power.
A little bit more, yeah. Yeah, that's got a heavy tail too.
That was a thrill ride for a teenager.
Oh, man. Managed to bring a bug along with us.
Yeah.
For some reason, they've decided that we do left traffic on 20 and right traffic on 02. So that means we fly over this winery all the time
Okay.
instead of flying over the high school. And the winery seems to be busier when people are flying than the high school ever is.
Yeah, that
So
makes
I don't
sense.
know what their thinking was in deciding all that.
Mako's 4 miles to the north. Inbound for the 45 entry, left-hand wind 3, Gastonia.
This is the trim down here.
Okay.
Fuel tanks is right there, or right there. There is no boat, you have to switch.
My house is dead ahead right there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're just probably maybe a quarter of the mile through the woods from Ashley.
Oh, okay.
Departing the pattern to the south.
Can you see it? You're the other side of Ashley.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Just to the, I guess, north of that solar farm there.
Oh, okay. Man, we have covered up Davie County with solar farm.
Well, there's another even larger one supposed to go behind this one.
Really? There's a giant one just north of Yadkinville. I mean, giant. We'll head up that way too. I aimed right.
Yeah. There's my house. See the brick with the driveway that loops around?
Oh, okay.
That's me.
Downwind 3.
Oh, yeah, cool. Very nice. You put a runway there in that field to the left, can't you?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Or we own all the way over to that first house right there on back.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you got plenty of room for a runway.
I don't know about that.
Mako base final, runway 3, Gastonia, full stop.
I flew over Bermuda Run last week. Mackie lives in Bermuda Run. It's kind of late in the evening. He told me, were you flying? I said, yeah. He said, I thought that was our airplane, but the engine sounded better than it usually does.
Oh, yeah.
I said, I was thinking, that's because I fly the damn thing, Mackie, and you never did.
Exercise is good for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were already 1 million people at the soccer fields when I came by today.
Oh, goodness.
That just amazes me. I thought our kids, we were in Dallas when that era came.
North traffic, Kodiak 8 Delta Alpha, descending through.
I had no idea
Right downwind, runway
what a
5.
big deal that was.
Yeah, it is. My girls were not ball players because we tried every different kind of ball that girls normally play, and they didn't want any of that. My oldest she was into martial arts.
Oh, okay.
So she's a 3rd degree black belt and a 6th degree Krav Maga.
Okay.
And my youngest was in competition cheerleading. So we traveled a lot.
You got to do a lot of good stuff.
Yeah. It was something every day, it seemed.
Yeah. Yeah, here's this airport was one of Bonson's, I think. I'm right over it, actually. Right along the river there. See kind of a runway?
Yep.
Joe Budd told me don't go in there. Just said it's kind of rough and wet and all those things. Can you see any mud places on it?
I see some wet ground down there.
Yeah. I don't know that we had a pretty good rain the other day.
Yeah.
I don't know how these grass runways are going to be. Joe's is much nicer.
They have a strip, don't they?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
It's just north of here. You see, it's got all sorts of sand and stuff all over it. Joe's is right there, right at the bend in the river, just to the right in the county. His is usually pretty nice. It looks like they might have it kind of torn up or something.
It's been very wet recently.
Yeah. I don't know if you do get too warm in here.
Oh, I'm fine.
Okay.
I came with layers.
Okay. I can't tell if that's old grass or new grass he's putting in or what what that is.
Traffic Cessna over 602.
If he shows up Wednesday, I'll have to ask him.
Leg to the west, 1,600, climbing 3,000, yes, honey.
White Hart straight ahead here.
Correction, Lear 753.
See it going
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
Between those trees?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's
yeah.
kind of narrow.
Well, not all that much. But, you know, he passed away.
Oh,
And
no.
somebody else bought it. And it's got, really can't see them anymore, but there are white X's in it. See one kind of down at this end, there's one at the other end. But he's still got the hangars there, and I know the attorney that handled his estate, and he said they sold all that to some lawyer from Florida who was going to do all sorts of flying. He moved up here, built that giant house you see over there.
Wow.
Promptly got divorced and moved back to Florida, and his wife wanted to stay here, so the runway's got X's on it. Yeah, you can see couple of little X's down there. Kind of hard to, that is some house.
It sure is.
All sorts of hangars and stuff down there for all. White Hart had one of those motor gliders, had a Piper Geronimo, you know, the Apache with decent engines. Ken's favorite airport is right up here, Marty's airport. Got a house and a lake and a runway.
With traffic, 753 Alpha, 10 miles to the southwest, straight in, runway 6.
Little island in the middle of the lake. Runs this way, so we're kind of coming up on it perpendicular. You can see the lake with the, no, right here, lake with the little island and the hangar off to the left.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that is nice.
You kind of land over his house and grass runway. The other thing is a driveway or something. And he flies, he's got a blue T-34. You seen that around? That's what he flies out of there.
612 X is about.
Oh, that is nice.
Yeah.
Southwest. Continuing to the southwest at 3,000, yes, honey. Yes, no, traffic. Classic 4 Alpha Tango is about 10 miles to the south of the field.
And that's Davie County.
Yeah, we're still in Davie County. On this side of the river, we're Davie County. I don't know where Yadkin County starts, but that's Forsyth for sure on that side.
Yeah.
Oh, there are a bunch of, and there's another one right here that I believe is an airport, but there's no real sign of it other than it seems to be 3,000 feet long and 100 feet wide. I had missed it already. I might have. But there are bunches of airports in Davie County and Yadkin County. Boonville has 3 or 4 airports. You want to fly?
Well, I'll give it a whirl. Okay.
Your airplane.
My airplane.
I think I've got it kind of trimmed up. If you don't like something, feel free to change it. 2,200 RPM, 105 miles an hour.
Okay.
Kind of the numbers.
What's the biggest thing when you are, I guess it's mainly taxiing takeoff and landing in a tail dragger that you have to keep in mind, and like switching from your Mooney to this?
Well, just, you keep, not really that different in wind. You still, if you're taxiing wind, you really, where the Mooney's not going to get blown around a lot, but you ought to have the ailerons into the wind, even though, nose wheel, nobody ever does it until the wind's blowing hard enough to pick up a wing, and then it's too late. But that's the main thing, is just keeping the aileron into the wind. There are different thoughts about three-point landings versus wheel landings. I never really got any good at wheel landings. I've had to do them a couple of times. Jason made me do one for my biennial. And he said, I thought you said you couldn't do that. I said, no, I didn't say I couldn't do it. I said I never did it. But in a bad wind, it is supposed to be easier to do a wheel landing. I've always felt that the slower you're going, the better off you are. And you're going probably 10 miles an hour slower in a three-point than you are in a wheel landing. And you're in an attitude that you're going to finish the whole process with, a three-point stance. Where if you're doing a wheel landing, you land on the wheel, you push the wheel forward a little bit to keep it stuck, you wait for the speed to bleed off, and then you lower the tail down. And while you're lowering the tail, you got no rudder authority. So, you're doing 3 or 4 different things that I've just never. I like three-point landing.
Have you flown over Pilot Mountain since the fire?
613 to go back is about 10 miles.
The second fire or the first fire?
Well, I guess the first one.
I went up, yes. We can go over there.
Well, no, I was just curious. I didn't know how much earth it actually scorched.
Well, right along the ridge is what it looked like to me. It's just right along the crest, not on the nub, but on the part headed off to the west.
Yeah, you got plenty of. Cool.
John, I know it sounds awful, but they say it's really good for the wildlife.
Oh, yeah.
Ultimately.
Yeah. We went out to Wyoming, I think, right after that big fire they had out there, and this is now 20 years ago, like the year after it. And the Rangers were all just giddy. Said everything is just coming back like we knew it would.
Oh.
Said everything's coming out of the ground. Everything's green. Said this is beautiful.
I'm chasing the ball here, and I'm doing terrible at it.
Don't have to. I never even look at all that stuff.
If I ever do get to fly and actually work on some instrument training, I will have to be laser focused.
Yeah. Well, you just kind of, I've always kind of got natural. Like I can feel you're turning to the left a little bit.
Yeah, I can too.
It's, you need to keep in a little bit more rudder than you would in a nose wheel. Just because the way things are set up. And, the key thing, I don't know whether you had any orientation when you flew the J3 or not, but the speech people ought to give you is where's the center of gravity in this airplane versus a nose wheel.
Yeah.
And in this airplane, the center of gravity is behind the wheel, behind the main gear. In a nose wheel airplane, it's in front of the main gear. So you've got to kind of realize what you're seeing and what you're thinking is about 3 or 4 feet behind where you normally are. So that's kind of the difference. See all those solar farms?
Oh, wow, that is huge.
Look at all that.
Well, there's another one supposed to be installed. I think there's quite a bit of litigation going on right now, so we'll see how that turns out. Wow, that is huge.
Yeah.
Rockville traffic system northeast inbound Portland and Rockville.
And to kind of, if you keep your wing kind of parallel to the horizon, the bottom of the wing, that's a good attitude check as far as nose up or down.
Yeah. And I've gained about 200 feet. This thing wants to climb.
That's okay. You don't have to go back down. Once we're up here, it's not a great performer as far as climbing and all that.
Well, it's a beautiful day. I tell you, we've certainly had the wind lately.
Yeah. Well, I hadn't been able to. I've had to cancel a couple of weekends. Kind of head over this way. I want to show you some of these other airports. Here's, if you do a hard left here, one airport we're just about to go right over, and you can see it on your right. Okay, roll out. Right down there is a runway kind of going like this.
Right there?
Yeah. Got a bunch of crap down at the end of it.
Yeah.
See that? That's one of the Boonville airports.
Wow.
This is downtown Boonville here.
Okay.
If you keep going straight this way, I think Jim Shears Airport, kind of straight ahead. Yeah, come over to the left a little bit. Jim's isn't even on a map. He's got okay, this is going to be good.
150 Whiskey entering a 45 to the left downwind, runway 7 for touch and go, Elkin.
Actually might be right over it. You see one? No, we're not there yet. Never mind.
Well, you know, they're so nondescript. I mean,
yeah, you gotta. There comes an airplane. See him down below there. Might be going into Shears.
Elkin traffic.
He looks like he's descending.
Yeah, here's Shears here. See you can see a green strip and then a bunch of hangars down at one end. Yeah, that's Jim Shears, and even though it doesn't look terribly flat, it is much worse than it looks. You know, he's coming in out of the north, which is the best way to land unless the wind is just roaring. That's the way that's what he's doing. And the other Boonville Airport is hang a right. See beside that road that's going up there?
He's coming in right there.
Yeah.
The road.
See, just to the right of the road, there's some buildings to the right of the green. That's the other runway. So it's about 200 yards from that airport.
Wow.
That may be that little home build. I've talked to that guy before that's landing there. Good job.
So do you, I mean, to land, do you have to just call up the owner first
Touch and go, Elkin.
beforehand? Is that just a courtesy, or?
I do, or well, there was another guy here. We can actually,
Okay, your airplane.
okay, my airplane.
Okay, traffic just
We'll,
back is about 5 miles to the northwest, 2,800. Descending the traffic pattern altitude, setting up for the left downwind.
Bill Hyman made it to a couple of our meetings. He had a yellow, one of those carbon cubs at Twin Lakes, and he passed away in December. But he called a bunch of these guys, and they all pretty much said, yeah, you know, come on in, whatever you want to do. I've called one guy over at Rayford, just northwest of Jonesville, because I knew his dad from 50 years ago at the old Yadkinville Airport. He had an airport at Love Valley, North Carolina. That's what I was searching for, that name. And his son was now running it. Said, yeah, come on in. Said, you need to buzz it for make sure I've cut the grass. He said, not many people come in, so I'm not real good about cutting the grass.
Moore County traffic, Skyhawk 972 Whiskey. We're about 11 miles to the northeast, and we're going to set up for a 45 entry for the left downwind, runway 5, Moore County. Elkin traffic, Cherokee 150 Whiskey on the upwind, runway 7. We're going to depart the pattern to the east. Elkin.
Just trying to see what this guy was going to do.
I'm going to turn some of the heat off.
Okay. Yeah, it does work better than you'd think it would, doesn't it?
Okay, traffic bands, 34 Gulf Cypress, left downwind, 7, Elkin.
You can see.
No, thank you. We're just staying in the pattern, but thank you for the offer.
Jim Shear lives on the other side of the airport from those hangars, and I now notice a cub out behind his house.
Traffic Cessna, 613, you go back to about 2 miles to the northwest, setting up for the left downwind, runway 05, rocking.
See the cub?
Oh, yeah.
Way off the runway. He lives way back there, the guy that owns all that.
Okay.
I'd never noticed that before.
Elkin traffic, Bonanza 373 for Golf, turning to left base 7, full stop, Elkin.
You see the downtown Boonville Airport here beside this road. Elkin is right up here. That's why I'm listening to them.
Yeah.
Elkin traffic, Bonanza 34 Golf, turning final, runway 7, full stop, Elkin.
Ever been to, Swan Creek? Have you ever been to Swan Creek?
No, I haven't.
It's, there used to be a giant parachute operation there, but they did not make it through the pandemic. And we won't go in there for sure. There's a couple of soft spots on the runway that kind of sneak up on you. I've had to, John Eller actually kind of dug a prop in, I think. He was trying to tell me the whole story and make it sound like it wasn't as bad as it was, but I think he did hit dirt with his prop. I told him you got to really watch where you taxi, and I've run through something on takeoff and, you know, drug my left wheel, and you need to always keep a little back pressure on this. Another reason not to do wheel landing.
Yeah.
Okay, traffic, Bonanza 373 for Golf Squad, back taxi to the ramp. Okay.
Interstate 77.
What's that?
Interstate 77, we can...
Yeah.
We're usually faster than the cars. This is much faster than J3.
Yeah, a little bit. Did you know a fellow by the name of Ben Mullen? I flew with him in his J3. I think he kept it up at Strawberry Hill.
Okay.
Which, I don't know if you remember Strawberry Hill.
Yeah, I bought my Musketeer at Strawberry Hill. Gus Street.
Yep.
Right, Gus?
Okay, yeah. So I live just across the field, practically from Strawberry Hill.
Okay. Yeah, that was a narrow little runway too.
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody fairly recently who remembered when that airport wasn't even paved. I think when I first showed up there that it was paved.
Well, the only time I ever landed there was with Ben Mullins in his J3.
Okay.
Left base, runway 5, Lincoln County.
Well, it's they had a Super Cub that I rented some, and I called to rent it one time, and whoever answered the phone said, well, we're not renting it anymore. It kind of got torn up.
Oh, my.
I said, oh, that's too bad. He said, yeah. I forget what his son's name was, what Gus's son's name was, but he was going down the Yadkin River at treetop height, snagged the cable. Didn't kill him, but
left downwind runway 5.
tore the airplane all to hell.
Falcon traffic, experimental 21990, taxi from the ramp 207.
There was a lot of the treetop height Yadkin River flying back then. I don't know that people do that so much anymore.
No.
Tango is 10 miles.
Everybody's on radar.
Yeah.
You can't lie about it.
Well, we do not have ADSB in here. Okay, off to the right. You can kind of see the runway there. Actually, two runways, one north-south, one east-west. The east-west is much longer. There's an old 182 or something that hadn't moved in years there. But there's some kind of the darker spots you see along the runway are wet spots, and unfortunately, they're right down the middle of the runway.
Yeah.
So I warned John about that. Sometimes you can't warn people. Here's another nice little house that you wouldn't see from a road anywhere up on this ridge.
Goodness.
Yeah. Some little castle, isn't it?
Morcon Unicom, Aerostar 8030 Juliet, 15 to the north and landing airport advisory.
Wow.
10 runway 5.
That would buy a few airplanes.
You could buy a few airplanes with that, yeah. You could probably buy a helicopter to land
Oh my
there.
gosh.
But hey, if you got it, I'll pop a little more heat
Okay.
in here.
Falcon traffic, Skylane 649.
You want to fly some more?
Oh, it doesn't matter.
The airport.
I'm enjoying the ride.
Okay. You got anything you want to see? We pretty much, we can go down to Moxville and there's an airport down there. I think he's trying to start a community.
In Moxville?
Yeah, an aviation community. It's got 3 houses around it.
Okay, and there is a very nice landing strip. I can't remember the road. I've been past it, and I was like, wow, somebody has done a tremendous job. And it's in Moxville, but I don't know that it was the same place.
Uh-huh. This is called like Boyd's Hawk or something like that. It is on the map.
Oh, it might be the one I saw.
It's like south, more west, but a little bit south. South of the interstate for sure.
It probably is. I've just driven past it.
Uh-huh.
No.
I don't know how close it is to a road. It may be close enough to see.
Falcon traffic, Skylane 649er Tango will be crossing midfield, entering left downwind for runway 7, Elkin.
Traffic, Piper 475.
Is your tracker working? Did it see us?
Well, I've got too much stuff on here.
Oh, okay.
Cherokee 50 Whiskey turning final, runway 36, touch and go, Mount Airy.
Trying north traffic, you're going to have skydiving in less than 2 minutes overhead the field from 1470. Please use caution, trying north.
Mount Airy traffic, Cherokee 150 Whiskey on the go, runway 36, we're going to depart off the downwind to the south, Mount Airy.
Camden Air traffic citation 803 Sierra Delta is 14 miles to the north, planning on entering left traffic, runway 6, Camden.
Wow. We're 200 miles from Camden and listening to him. Another couple of airports over here, if I can find them. One of them is actually a public airport.
Runway 36, Mount Airy.
The other one's right across the street. It's amazing that people would build airports 200 yards from each other.
Mount Airy traffic, Cherokee 150 Whiskey, turning left downwind for runway 36, Mount Airy.
Area traffic citation. 3 Sierra Delta is on a 9-mile 45 for left traffic, runway 6, Camden.
9-mile 45.
Triangle North traffic, skydivers are away out of 14,000 feet over the field. Please use caution, do not overfly the field at Triangle North.
How often are you flying this airplane?
I try to fly once a week. I don't always do it. I put
Area traffic.
probably 30 hours on it in the last year. Mackie has put nothing.
Oh my.
He is,
Camden Area traffic citation.
we got the annual done at Twin Lakes and he flew it back
Left downwind
from
to
the annual.
Camden.
Last time I went into this one up here, excuse me, hadn't cut the grass in a while.
That sounds good, Triangle North.
Yeah. 3 Sierra is on a 4-mile 45 for left downwind, runway 6 at 2,000.
Triangle North traffic, Kodiak 8 Delta Alpha is descending through 8,000 feet, circling down to enter a midfield left downwind for runway, or right downwind for runway 5. We have the other downwind traffic in sight at Triangle North. We'll follow in behind you guys.
Well, I may not be finding it.
You say it was on the map.
Yeah,
What's it called?
it's 80C.
To the south. Transitioning to the west.
880
80 Charlie.
Charlie, okay.
I think I now got it.
Lone Hickory.
Yeah, Lone Hickory. It's right up here. Now I see it. I hadn't come far enough yet. Come up here and give you the view of both of these airports. They're kind of like, probably a little closer than the two Boonville. Look like somebody may just be landing at this one. Look at the one just to the right here.
Oh yeah.
Somebody landing or taking off or what? Or is that a shadow?
No, they're taking off, I think. Landing.
Landing, yeah.
Landing.
Yeah, that's one, and then the other one is right across the street. You can see the hangar,
yeah.
all the hangars at the other one.
West of field inbound to 3, yeah.
Joe took me to ride in his stagger wing when he had it, and we buzzed that place. Yeah, this is the one where they hadn't cut the grass in a while. It is, and it looks short because it's short.
I was going to say, it looks kind of short.
Some of these things I'll do by myself in here, but I won't do with two people. And no, this is not a J3. Particularly when we've had so much rain. But that's one of the airports that when I had my Luscombe back when I was younger, that airport was there. There was an airport at Yadkinville, We'll go down to Moxville, then we'll call it a day.
Okay.
But to me, it's a lot. I'd love to have a J3, but you can't fly a J3 in the wintertime.
5 miles west of the field and down here.
Unless you got real good layers.
Yeah.
This does have lots of leaks and stuff.
Your traffic test number 613 Quebec is about 6 miles.
Oglesby was trying to get me to put weather stripping around all this. I'm not
Transitioning to the west.
going to put weather stripping in here.
Yeah, well, fresh air's good too.
Yeah.
Well, you're very talented at spotting these airfields from the air. Because they're just all green.
Well, I look for opportunities.
Wow,
You know, when I was learning to fly, the instructor would, you know, I mean, to have a practice flight and not have him pull the engine 2 or 3 times was a disappointment.
Oh my.
And you were expected to, you know, we didn't always land. Sometimes we did. They were that crazy then. You know, because there's nothing, that may be an airport there.
I was going to say,
you
it
know?
kind of looks like one.
That only thing you wonder about is the grass cut? Because we're at the stage where if you hadn't cut your grass, it's getting high. It doesn't take much for a farmer to, you know, not plow 5 or 6 rows and just make something. Gonna miss Moxville here.
Gastonia traffic, 776 Alpha Alpha is entering left downwind for runway 3, Gastonia traffic.
Also amazing how many horse farms there are in Davie County.
Oh, yeah. Well, and the poultry.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Up north. You know, my daughter, she actually manages poultry farms.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's an NC State grad.
Okay,
And
cool.
I've tried to tell her, I mean, you know, she, of course, sees them on the ground all the time. And I said, you can't imagine how many there are from the air getting up in that quadrant we were just in.
Right.
All the way up to Elkin and all.
Isn't that probably one?
Yeah. They're heading up to Elkin, North Wilkesboro that way.
Oh, yeah.
Tremendous.
Yeah. Well, people wonder why chicken's 99 cents a pound or whatever it is.
Gastonia traffic, 776 Alpha Alpha is in left downwind for runway 3, Gastonia traffic.
Yes, sir. Traffic test for runway 613 Quebec. 5 miles to the west, 2,800 descent and traffic pattern altitude. Inbound for landing, runway 03, yes, sir.
Gastonia traffic, 776 Alpha Alpha.
Alpine traffic, experimental 216 here, Mike, departing runway 29, Hawks Landing.
Gastonia traffic, Skyhawk 1859 uniform, about 7 miles to the west, inbound for runway 3, Gastonia.
Gastonia traffic, 776 Alpha Alpha is on final to runway 3, Gastonia traffic.
Just to the right, other side, there's a couple of houses. One house on the other side and a couple of houses on this side of the runway. Runway kind of runs like that.
Yeah.
Finally cut a notch. There were trees at the southeast end of the runway. He's finally cut a giant notch in them down this way. Got it? There. Talk to the guy in the house there at the north end, or at the southwest side of the runway, I guess. But they got, one of the guys has a Seneca, another one has a guy I talked to had a 172.
Okay.
Yes, on your traffic system, runway 6132 Quebec is 2 miles to the northwest. Setting up for the left downwind runway 03. Yes,
Gastonia traffic, Skyhawk 1859 uniform, 3 miles to the west, inbound for runway 3, Gastonia.